Follow the money.
That's what I always say. You always follow the money.
Yeah.
This is Follow the Money with Mitch Moss and Pauly Howard on VSiN.
Welcome aboard. It is Follow the Money here on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network. Mitch Moss, Pauly Howard, live downtown Vegas. Circa Las Vegas is the spot. The owner, CEO of this great property, Derek Stevens, going to be in studio coming up bottom of the hour. We'll get into tonight's NBA card here, and we'll recap a little college basketball action, what happened last night, and the Masters. I just met the guy.
Yes.
He's here at Circa right now, cashing out. He's the person who we talked about last week.
What was his name again?
You know, it happened so fast, I didn't even have a chance to introduce you. But I don't remember, actually, to be honest. I'll meet him again here after the end of the show.
Get his name. Hey, how you doing?
He's the person who bet $1,000. It was last summer on Florida at 80-1 to win the national title here.
Yes.
So he was asking about hedging advice, what he does. He's already got the college basketball future sheet on him, and he's been going over teams that he's going to bet. I said, hey, make sure you let me know if there's a team or two that you like here. We can get down on this stuff. And he's also going to be firing big on the Masters as well. So what a great find last summer.
How did he play it?
It was, again, so fast he didn't even have a chance to answer. He's going back down and make more bets.
Going back. Okay, good. If we went too fast as well, I know that was a lot of plays from Indy Jeff. Henley, Lowry, Straka, Berger, pizza money on Mickelson. His favorite bet, though, was Mickelson top senior. Hebert, Matsuyama, and then top South African, Schwartzel, top Euro, Lowry, hole-in-one on 16, plus 115, and a cool prop at DraftKings, the big guns against the field. Big guns, Scotty, Rory, Rahm, Bryson, field, minus 160. A lot of the stuff that he had.
Yeah, if you want to go back and watch or listen and get everything that Jeff gave out, you can get the VSiN Watch app. It was at 5 o'clock Eastern today, 2 o'clock Pacific time. Here's who I bet. And typically, and I said this before the break, I like betting on the Masters pretty much year-round. But I've over the years, I told myself, okay, it's time to dial it back. Because typically, and this is, I don't know, for 4 years running now, maybe a little bit more, we would get to Masters week, and I look at my portfolio, and I'm like, Mitch, you have 13 guys. Like, what the hell's wrong with you?
You win, you'll break even.
That's exactly right. So, watching golf year-round and betting this stuff every single week, it's like, okay, I'm going to add this guy in June because he's on a great heater right now, and his number for the Masters is absolutely going to come down, and they have it on the board, obviously, for 360-plus days. It's like, let me do that. Wow, so that made no sense anymore. So I've had to really tell myself, careful, big guy. You don't want to have that many players or golfers going into this week. So I do have 6, which I think is more manageable than like a dozen or more. I did add one yesterday. That was my 6th guy, Robert McIntyre, 55-1.
Oh, love Bob.
You do?
Yeah, I've had him before. And yes,
yeah.
Love his game.
So once I saw the weather this
Looks
week.
Looks like a bowler. Got the front porch and everything.
Does.
Yeah.
Yeah, and, people were starting to make I liked him already, and then people are making the case for him, and his odds started to drop a little bit. I better bet him at 55-1. And again, this is throughout the year. Guys may be playing well, and I wanted to get a good number. Russell Henley, 65-1 on March 9th. I bet him. Mm-hmm. But he's still available at 55-1. I told Jeff he might miss the cut. If I did not have him at 66-1 right now, I would absolutely be betting Russell Henley at 55-1. I'll probably get involved with him tonight, top 10s, top 20s. On March 8th, I bet Corey Connors at 75-1. Actually, I'm sorry. I bet Russell Henley on February 9th, not March 9th. Connors 75-1 in early March. Minwoo Lee, when he was tearing the course up a couple of weeks back, 80-1. February 1st. This was when Straka won an event. He was in the mix for at least a couple of other ones, and Indy Jeff was making a case for him like every single week. He was 120-1 on February 1st. I had to grab a slice of that. And then I don't even know what this guy's odds are currently, but Rasmus Højgaard, 150-1, and I don't know why the sportsbook I bet it at also doesn't say the date. So I'm proud of myself, the willpower here. I've only been betting the Masters since February 1st. I'll pat myself on the back when I only have 6 losers in this week as opposed to 13 or 14.
All right. Well, good luck. It's your time. A nice run. You had the Super Bowl.
I'll tell you what.
The Gators.
Okay, you want me to make a really dumb comment right now?
You expect to win?
No, I do not expect to win.
Okay.
If I will say this, if Russell Henley comes in this week and wins the Masters, we'll come up with something here. I'll get a cabana for the entire crew one day, something like that. Or if...
Let's go to Mama's Pizza, Dallas Fort Worth. We got a place to stay.
Well, okay. I'll say, or Sepp Straka if he comes in. Well, whatever. We'll come up with a good idea. We'll take the entire crew here behind the scenes. They do an amazing job every single day. We'll get a cabana. We'll go to Legacy Club. We'll let them name it. Who the hell knows?
Mm-hmm.
It's going to come back. This did come back to bite me almost when I did this with the Brooke Lopez thing.
Sure. Well, here's the feeling good all the time.
Yeah.
For the first time since the 1992 tournament, the team leading at the half of all three Final Four games lost outright. And how about the Cardiac Kids with the Gators?
Oh, man.
Down
Yeah.
big to
Tell me
Texas
about
Tech.
it.
You're down 9 with less than 3 minutes. They can't make a free throw. They implode. Might even counting the Connecticut game when they were down 3 with under 4. And then you're down double digits to Auburn. And then you're down 12 in the second half to Houston. And you rally and win. And I was the highest I only saw was 4-1 in play. But the possessions down the stretch, and just Florida making all the plays as well, and then getting to the basket, making some free throws, forcing some turnovers, the misses from Houston as well. I mean, to think Houston, not only do you have a 12-point lead, you lose the game, you close with back-to-back turnovers. Clayton doesn't make his first field goal till 14:57 in the second half.
Yeah.
And he's 1 of 7 from 3, and you still lose the damn game.
I know it.
Sharp 3 of 11 from 3, Roberts 3 of 13 shooting.
Oh,
And
Paul,
I mean, the first half, too, that's another thing where you could say it's kind of like the other way for Duke. Duke should have had a bigger lead against Houston. It was 31-28 at halftime. Florida had 8 turnovers, and you had a problem with the officiating, but Houston should have had a bigger lead at halftime, too. That was another one.
Totally agree.
Then you come out, and it's a foul fest. 12 fouls in the first 6 minutes of the second half.
That was really, really a bad job by the referees. And they called everything right away on Florida, and then they overcorrected it and called everything on Houston. I thought guys were getting away with travels. It was they let them really beat each other up in the first half, and then the second half they're calling almost everything. You can't, guys, consistency, please. Can you get that? Can you jot that down next time when you're talking about how to call a game together? The Florida turnovers were killing me last night. Mm-hmm. Again, this was a problem, right? The fact that Houston's defense is so good that Clayton, who was like the player of the entire tournament, he won it last night. He went think about this for a second. He went 16 plus minutes without taking a shot, because every time that, hey, here's a rub, here's a screen, here's some more action, there were 2 guys all over him for Houston.
Did people have that in the audience? We discussed that prop, too, several times, early on in the tournament and then midway through the tournament.
Which one?
Most outstanding player.
Well, I'm guessing people did, and he was a shorter number yesterday to win it, other than Florida money line.
Because you had the flag and broom stuff, too. And that's, would Florida get there, and who would be the guy?
He was 4-1 before the Final Four started. I mean, looking back now, that's an awesome number, and I never made the case for it, but...
but that too, right? He couldn't get him going, and he went all that time without a shot. And they still blow the damn lead.
Do you feel a little bad today for Kelvin Sampson? He's 69 years old.
Yeah, I'm with Fraschilla. I thought they would have got one of them. But I think Mahoney makes a good point, that you have to suck it up and hire some type of an offensive guru, an offensive genius, because that's what holding you back. You're a good coach. You're a great coach, and your system's phenomenal. You're going to have a top 5 defense every year. You got to fix the offense. What are you doing holding the ball? You can't hold the. It's not tied. You're losing. You have to extend the game in case you miss, you foul. Anything can happen. They can miss your free throws, and then you can't even get a frickin' shot off.
Well, that was for the last basically 90 seconds of the game. They couldn't get a shot off, and they turned the ball over 4 times.
You got to be able to draw. You've been around the game so long. You got to be able to draw something up good out of a timeout.
Like they did against Purdue?
Yeah, right. That was beautiful. It was exquisite. But what happened? That was trash last night.
We had a guest on last Friday who was all-time good at that. It was Lon Kruger.
He was.
That, to me, is one sign of a hell of a coach. Like, it was automatic, out of a timeout. If a team was going on a run against UNLV, when he was a coach out here, because we watch him every single game, obviously, it's like if you could bank on or bet on what's going to happen after the timeout, it was UNLV was going to get an amazing look out of the timeout. It happened every single time. And that just did not take place in the game. And also, like, The shot selection was a little dicey last night, and how many bricks did we have in the game?
There were some
guys were not
misses.
even close with these shots.
Uh-huh.
So even though I was holding that, again, thanks to Derek Stevens and Mike Palm for putting us in that blackjack tournament. Otherwise, clearly, I'm not going to have that much riding on the line. I feel a little bit bad today for Kelvin Sampson. That would have been win number 800 in his first ever national title game.
Yep.
Who knows how many chances he's going to have left? I mean, they're going to be, as long as he's there, they're probably going to be a factor to make a deep run in a 1 or 2 seed like every single year. And I think he's got a great recruiting class coming in next season already. But all of his teams are pretty much similar, right? They're going to be elite on defense, and as long as he can somehow continue in the portal and maybe with recruiting, getting guys who can shoot, then maybe that'll be good enough to put him over the hump one of these years.
80-1 at Circa, like the gentleman had. 60-1 most places. To be down at the half and win plus 650. Both teams under 65.5 points, 5-1. To win between 1 to 3 points plus 575. To be down 10 and win plus 430. A lot of stuff cashed. And 72% ATS on the year. That's another one of what they did and pulled off.
Well, okay, so overall good tournament, bad tournament. Did the Final Four save us?
Oh, boy. I don't know. So many blowouts. Unprecedented. What happened with the blowouts, especially early on. The Friday night, the second night of the tournament, that Friday night was all-time bad. You couldn't get a competitive game.
And I got to be honest, I thought the Final Four was as good as it gets.
Yeah, right.
Last night, dramatic. To me, the first 2 and the first 4 days matter. They might matter more than anything else. We'll update some of the crazy point spread movement in the NBA coming up next here on VSiN.
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
2 games in baseball going on as we speak. Mets 6, Marlins 5. They play in the 6th. Right now, the Mets are $16 to win the game. You can grab the Marlins plus 2.5 runs right now and not lay that much juice. But the Mets have runners on the corners right now, the way it looks with 1 out. And the White Sox and the Guardians have combined for 4 hits in this game, scoreless as they play in the 8th. Guardians are 230 to win the game in play. White Sox are plus 176 in that neighborhood. NBA tonight, point spread movement.
Can I read a couple of these quick?
Galore,
feedback? Yep. A couple of people chiming in, they thought Florida was done. They think they were coming back.
For sure.
Even what we've seen in this tournament, you said that's it. Houston can't blow this, and they did.
Because to me, every time that Florida would get down and then he would come back and make a run to tie it, they'd have a chance eventually to take the lead, and they never could, and Houston would go on a quick 5 or 8 to nothing run.
Yeah.
And I just thought that's going to be too much to overcome.
Yeah.
They had to get over that hump at some point, and I guess it finally happened in the final, seconds of the game.
At 17:21 of the second half, Florida had 5 fouls. Houston had 0. Houston reached 10 fouls before Florida had 9.
Yep. Like I said, it completely flipped.
Then it just got. And then that tweet we showed earlier, too, about what happened with, it's like, wait a second, now every call is going against Houston here. And then it just, whistle fest, foul fest, 12 fouls the first 15 of the second half.
I thought the first technical was questionable at best.
Oh, of course.
The second questionable that's the letter of the law. You have to call that. You cannot spike the ball on the floor, on the court, and then have a bounce up like that. If you bounce it on the court and catch it, it's not a technical. But automatically, if you bounce it like that and it goes flying up, by the rule book, it has to be a technical foul. Yeah, no, I thought it was going to be way too much to overcome again last night. And the fact that the defense for Houston was so good that Clayton couldn't even get shots off told me a lot during that game.
Right.
And Houston the lead should have been even bigger throughout.
But still, that's another argument you got to make to hedge, and just don't. Just say you're watching the game. You say, okay, it's over. Like Duke's not blowing this lead against Houston. Texas Tech's not losing to Florida. Florida's not coming back here. Well, okay.
Yeah.
It's sports. Crazy stuff happens. And again, you could have grabbed 4-1 in play, and God knows 60-1 with Houston on Saturday.
I wanted to say this too, by the way. So on that blackjack tournament, and me getting Florida second overall. Right? Again, I had to hedge. I'm not even mad about hedging last night. I hedged a lot of money on Houston.
Well, forget about what you did. The draft. The whole thing is getting the second pick too, though.
Oh, for
to
sure.
put yourself in that position.
Right. But I would encourage everybody in the audience to play in blackjack tournaments if you have a chance to do so.
A lot of casinos do it. It's fun.
And I want to start playing in more of them. In the ones here at Circa that they do, you only get 21 hands. You'll see stuff you would never imagine, and I'm still getting used to it. But I forgot about this until thinking about what happened during the game last night. People were, and I guess it makes sense, people were doubling down on blackjack. Because you only get 21 hands and you want to take advantage of every double down situation or split that you can. And even the dealer said, here's the way you need to look at it. If you have 21, if you're dealt like an ace and a king, whatever, and you're dealt blackjack, the thought is if you double down and you get a 10, well, first of all, the only thing that can really happen bad is a push. You're not going to lose. But also...
Against any card? I can't condone that. I understand. A lot of times people split 10s, and I don't have a problem with you doing that in this particular instance as well. But that's...
To me, I would say no.
know.
To me, it's got to be like a
that.
6 or
No.
so, or
Well,
lower.
There's another casino.
But you get paid 2-1 rather than 3-2. I'm sorry, that's the point.
Yeah, gotcha. But, okay, but to further that discussion, and it'll be a deeper dive tomorrow with Mike Palm and see what Derek thinks as well in terms of strategy. There's a casino that has a tournament where you get 12 hands. But you're not, but you're also, they also have one here that they do where you have to have the high score at your table. You got to move on.
Otherwise, you get eliminated.
Yeah, you get eliminated.
Ooh, that's another huge wrinkle then.
But at this one casino, it's only 12 hands, and then it's accumulation and what you have with all the chips, and then they pay out top 10, whatever it is at the end. So it's just got to be all in, shove, whatever, do crazy stuff from the get-go. That's 12. This is 21. But also, you got 4 rounds here to work with your 21 hands. And then the other one they usually do is it's 21 hands, but you have to advance and win 3 rounds to get to the final table.
Oh,
but
geez.
it's you against the 2 other people. And you also get a free ace. You can purchase, well, it's not free. It's $100. But you can buy an ace, and then at any point in the 21
I want my
hands,
ace.
you can use that ace.
What's the theory with that? I've never played in that. It's
Well,
going to be
you
when
gotta get lucky.
when you have a gigantic bet out
Well,
and you're dealt a king.
No, you got to put it on the table before the hand.
I was hoping at any point.
that, no.
That would be
No.
awesome.
Sure.
Okay.
You got that. It's like, it's a pretty big matzo ball hanging out there.
Yeah.
When you shove, you use your ace, and then they give you a 5.
Would you split 6s against a 6?
Yes.
Would you split 6s
Yes.
against a 10?
No.
People don't do it.
No.
I think it's like splitting 10s. I can't get there, but people split 10s against a 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And again,
I can see that in this format, yeah.
I got to brush up on that. I'm sure Anthony Curtis probably has a book on specifically betting blackjack tournaments.
There's another guy who would hit on 17s. There's another guy who would always hit 17s, and there was another gal who would always stay on 16 even though the dealer had a face card.
Oh, man.
Every single time. And she was just adamant about, doing this, signaling now. No, I'm good. Don't even ask me. I'm not hitting that.
What?
You know me. It's
What?
like every single time she would, and I played with other people who were like that. It's like, no, I'm not, I don't want to bust. I'm going to see if you bust or don't have it. I'm like, what? You got to assume he has it.
Yeah. So what's the thought there? It's only going to be a 5, 4, 3, 2, and an ace that can help you out?
I don't know. This is great for Palm and Anthony Curtis. But that's I
love the strategy
couldn't
goes
believe
into it. And
I got one guy who's hitting on 17s nonstop, and then I got a gal who won't hit a 16 against a face card.
And you'll also get people who will go, like for this one anyway, it's $5,000 for that's what you get for the chips. You can bet the minimum's $100 and the maximum is I think 5,000. So even if you have like 10,000 and you built it up, people who just go all in on the first hand. Like I'm going to establish my authority right now if I win this. And I'm going to take over. I'm going to be like very aggressive. And if I get that early lead, I know I'm going to be one of the chip leaders at the very end of this. Or even if like you're trailing on round number 2, that's your philosophy, is that you just go, maybe that's, if you win the first couple, you just keep going like 5,000, and then like what a big number again. And if you happen to win your first 2 or 3 hands, you're going to have such a huge advantage at that point. It's a great talking point.
How was Tribuco doing it? One year Tribuco got it it was It was the year the Braves were the best record in baseball, far and away, and they were the 1 seed.
Yeah.
And he picked them with the number 1 pick, and they didn't even win a series.
I think that his philosophy was he was going all like in the middle rounds or whatever. I think he was going all in right away. 5,000, you win that hand again, and because you're going to be pitted against a lot of people, and I'm guilty of this, who are playing $100, $300 a hand, $400 a hand, and just trying to peck away at that.
Right, because a lot of times you're trying to survive. You can't catch cards, or the one instance where you said this isn't even fun, and the dealer had a 20 or 21, like 17 of the 21 hands.
Brutal, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so NBA action tonight. This Lakers point spread here against the Thunder again got as high as 15.5. It's back down to 9. You completely disagree with this, but the Lakers are evidently going to play everybody in this game.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to win, and I think you're going to get a ticked-off OKC team. Can Lightning strike twice? We'll see. But to me, the bigger game is tomorrow on a back-to-back, and you play Dallas, and Luka goes home, and it's going to be like a home game because they can't stand Nico, and they love Luka. So, in any event, all they need is 2 wins to lock up the 3 seed, and they're 74% to do so, which is imperative they get that because they have the second-best home record in the conference. So, I'm a little surprised they're doing this, but also I can see where people are coming from saying, let's get the chemistry going. We've had guys in and out of the lineup. We're healthy. Let's go for it. We'll get a couple of days off coming up. And you said earlier, let's hopefully win 2 quick, and then we can sit people and get like a week and a half off.
Yep.
Bulls are sitting everybody. See, that's how they're doing it.
I know.
The big one's tomorrow. Now, kind of the same thing. You're huge dogs tonight against the Cavs. They're not playing Mitchell, but they're trying to lock up the 1 seed. But the Heat play the Bulls tomorrow. So the Bulls are passing on this game tonight, punting, and Giddey's out, and White's out, and Vucevic is out. The bigger game is tomorrow from more of a seeding standpoint with that 9-10, and we'll see what happens with Atlanta and Orlando tonight with that big game, with the 7-8.
This one hurts my feelings because I wanted to continue to ride the props for Josh Giddey and also Kobe White.
Oh, yeah.
And I think with the Cavaliers here, the matchup, the total was going to be obviously to the moon, and the Bulls were going to score. And they were going to get theirs against the Cavaliers, no doubt in my mind. And I thought both those guys were going to have great games again tonight.
And I hope you grabbed the ER when ER gave out the under, too, with the Bulls sitting everybody as well. And we knew Mitchell was out also.
It was was it 238 when he gave it out?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
And it also makes sense with the Knicks tonight, too. As Mahoney said, they're playing people. And, again, Brunson just came back. Kind of a game you got to have to say, if Boston sits people, but it's like you have to show that we can compete here with the big boys.
This will break their souls.
If Brown and Tatum don't play and they lose?
Yeah, 100%
yes,
it will.
It's a soul crusher.
Yep. The owner and CEO, Circa Las Vegas, Derek Stevens on the program coming up next. Florida winning the national title. Good or bad for the house last night? We'll ask him here on VSiN.
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
Every Tuesday at this time, the owner, CEO of this great property, Circa Las Vegas, Derek Stevens, joins us here at the desk in studio right next to the biggest sports book in the world. It's good to see you today. How are you?
Doing great. Right. I know you're doing great.
Doing pretty well today.
Love it. Love it. What a game.
That was
hell of a finish.
Drama-induced for sure.
No lead is safe. Cardiac kids. They did it 3 times.
This is I'll tell you what, the Final Four was unbelievable.
Yeah, it really was.
Yeah.
All those games, the action, I can't imagine what it was like on Saturday. First of all, it goes without saying here, but thank you very much for including us in these blackjack tournaments. You guys don't have to do this for anybody. So the fact that you did it is like incredible. And clearly I never would have been in that position. I had Florida futures on other tickets, but I'm not going to be, a $15,000 future. I would, in no way I would ever consider doing something like that. So I can't thank you enough just for the chance to actually be in that blackjack tournament and have a ticket.
Well, I'm glad we had somebody on the network here win one and cash one. We talk a lot about on all the shows on VSiN how you got to be able to make money, and I'm happy that we've had a few instances in some of these tournaments where you get a ticket, and then we talk a lot about how do you hedge your way out. I was happy. Stormy made $5,000 on I think on this tournament.
That's right.
Oh, great. Okay.
Through hedging it out, but for you to actually get the ticket and actually cash it, it's pretty awesome. And I know my phone blows up. People love hearing the theory behind it. They love hearing you guys talk about it. So it's awesome. So congratulations.
Thank you.
Yep. And if you're a serious player, this is where you have to play
100%.
and bet, because no one gives back to their players like Derek and Circa. Just incredible. The other thing is, how about the strategy? So it's one thing, okay, I have the draft, which is awesome, but he put himself in position that he finished second in the blackjack. What do you think about strategy? And you only get 21 hands if you should split tens and double down on blackjack and some of this funky stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's a lot to be said for trying to take one of the rounds and try to post a big number. You know, if you start with 5,000, you get to 10. Try to push it. You know, get up there and post a number. Make everybody else try to chase you. If you're not fortunate enough to be in that position, then I think it makes some sense to try to take some unique make some unique moves. It's a small sample size tournament, so don't overthink. Oh, the book says I stand on this, or what, you know, and that's all out the window.
Everything goes out the window.
Yeah, you know, like let's say you're dealt a 4, the dealer's got a 6 up. You have somebody else next to you maybe is dealt a 4, but you're trying to jump this person. You're too correlated in your plays. You may want to take a hit and differentiate yourself from somebody else to move up the ladder. You know, I think in short sample size tournaments, you're trying to get as much on the table as you possibly can. So ace 7, ace 8, yeah, those are double downs in most situations. You want to push as much as you can so you can post a big number.
Now, are we talking about doubling down against even a face card in those situations, or
I wouldn't do that if it was like the second or third hand of the round.
Yeah,
but you know, as you get to the end of the tournament, if you're trying to make a jump up, yeah, maybe on the fourth round of the tournament, then I would start saying, yeah, let's start thinking about that. What are you going to do to make your move?
Right.
So this is when you have to. When all 4 rounds are factored in the high score, and then you rank people. But my host is incredible, Tessie, and she put me in. How about this other one you put on, where it's 21 hands, but you have to beat everyone at the table, and you have to advance.
Oh, the knockout tournament.
The knockout rounds, right. You got to win round 1, round 2, round 3, and it's you against the other people at the table.
Yeah.
So same type of deal. And then you got to buy an ace. Yeah, that element too.
Yeah, you got to buy an ace. Yeah, these are all a lot of. That's what we're doing this weekend, I think. Right? We got we got our 50. This is our $50,000. This is where, was it faces and aces or something like that? So every you just got to know the rule set, and then you got to push as hard as you can. So that worked out great for you.
It really did. So did Florida winning last night? What kind of a result was that for the book? And I'm guessing the action here was fabulous yesterday on the game.
Yeah, I watched it with Nicole. We were watching it together last night. We've been out every day because of the Crown being in Vegas. So I was watching on surveillance over here, and the joint was full. Tables were full. We went in pretty good shape. In a rare occurrence, we were okay both sides, but then throughout the game, the money really started coming in on Houston. And by about 10 minutes to go in the game, we were in a position where we needed Florida pretty bad. So we were absolutely aligned, Mitch, in the last 10 minutes of this game.
Wow. Well, I mean, the live betting stuff like that, it looked like, again, for the third time this tournament, that Florida was completely dead.
Yeah, you know, my mom and dad live in Florida. My mom always texts me before the game, hey, who are we rooting for? I want to make sure I'm rooting for the house, you know. And my mom, you know, she's saying her prayers, doing the whole thing. They live in Florida, so she had a betting interest in Florida. She made a $25 bet here back in February, so she was riding that one all the way home.
Is that right?
But she said, do we still need Florida? It's hard for her to understand in-game betting. When I said, Mom, I need Florida. No, now I need Houston. Now I need Florida. Like, it's a little too flippant for her. She needs to dedicate herself, her time, her prayers on one team. Which she was on Florida all game yesterday.
Good result then.
What'd you think of the Crown? How did it go?
I'll tell you what, for a first-year tournament, I think these guys absolutely nailed it. You know, you could say some things. Well, this could have been better. That could have been better. Maybe more marketing. Maybe more attendance. And all those things. You could say that about any first-year thing. But I'll tell you what, this tournament was spectacular. It's definitely happened again. You got some big money, very smart people that are behind this. These guys were not making a chess move here or taking a shot. These guys are about five chess moves ahead of the game here. This is the future.
No kidding.
Last Monday we had the 16 teams, the ADs and the head coaches here for the Crown dinner. Actually, it was Sunday night, a week ago Sunday, and went through all the thought process, how it was developed, and all these ADs were just enamored. I would tell you, I got to speak to a lot of athletic directors that said, "Hey, just to let you know, if you ever wanted to make us a long-term offer, we'll pass up an NCAA bid." That's how big of a deal this is going to be.
What? Are you serious?
Yeah. No, this is a big deal. This is a big deal. I mean, I know I just said that live, but I'm telling you, no, it's not going to be Duke. But I will tell you, the economics behind this Crown are very smart, and they will grow. And this is something pretty special. You never ever want to be in a situation where you want to go to the NIT. I mean, every team, whether you're a host of the NIT, you lose money. This thing, everyone's guaranteed money. Players are guaranteed money. It's a heck of a recruiting scenario. The exposure for these players, there's 15 NBA teams at every one of these games. You're gonna get basically maybe one at an NIT game if
Interesting.
So this is the next level of what they're doing, and the TV ratings just came out today. The ratings were great. Games were good.
Gotta tell you,
There was no rust. They were high-scoring games, and we talked about this Monday. You were at the games, but I love what they did where you cannot go to the monitor if you're an official. It has to be a challenge or an appeal from a coach. If you win, you get the ball. If you lose a timeout. That's a great rule. And NCAA should adopt that too.
Interesting, yeah.
It's great.
Another great idea, playing the two semifinal games on Saturday before the Final Four.
Yes.
Yeah.
Perfect.
It was perfect, yeah. There's a lot of things. I've been on a group text with some of these guys. I will tell you, they'll probably have about 100 tweaks going into next year. The ideas and creativity of these guys are at a whole, it's a whole nother level. But you think about where the money's coming from. This is Fox. Yeah. It's Fox behind it. Mm-hmm. They want to own this. AEG, they want to own this. Look at you got JSX with what they're doing. You got all the right brands coming in. I mean, this was a very impressive deal. So I'm glad we got in on the first year of this thing.
Good job.
Excellent.
Well, you said, they might turn down NCAA tournament bids. Wow. Now that's strong.
Big time Friday. We're going to be at the pool. How about this?
Yeah,
doing the show live from the pool. Going to get Taryn on the show as well. And you plan your Vegas getaway. Derek is giving you 15% off at 3 great properties, Circa, the D, and the Golden Gate. Whether you're hanging by the pool like we'll be Friday doing the show live for the Masters, go to circalasvegas.com. Code VSIN15. Get 15% off your Vegas adventure starts here. circalasvegas.com. Book now.
Will we see you out there on Friday?
Absolutely. Hey, this Masters, I'll tell you what. This Masters betting, we haven't really talked about that, but my God, the Masters betting this year will set all types of records, and there's enhanced coverage on Saturday and Sunday. This is going to be juicy.
So bets are coming in left and right.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure. Thanks, Derek. Great to see you.
Thank you.
Yep. Up next, In Pocket Plays here on Follow the Money. It's VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
To determine the winner of any given college basketball game.
Someone gives you 10,000 to 1 on anything. You take it. Take it. Take it.
I'll bet you $20 I can get you gambling before the end of the day. No way. I'll give you 3-1 odds. Nope. 5-1. Nope. 10-1. You're right.
All right, a walk-off walk for Cleveland. They beat the White Sox 1-0, and the Mets lead the Marlins 9-5 in the 8th. Grimes goes over again. 13-1 overrun with his points prop, and then I see he's questionable now for tomorrow. Did you see the last 3 opponents? I think they play Atlanta, Washington, and the Bulls. Oh, mama. We got to have them in there.
That's why I said earlier, like Kobe White and Josh Giddey, this sucks. I wanted to bet them both tonight against the Cavaliers.
Yeah, and this was a weird one. Apologies here. I go 0 for 2. The Kings scored a minute into the game. And then, for the first time in 8 games, and for only the second time in 16 games, they allowed a goal in the first period where they gave up 2 late. It was 1-0 with like 2 minutes left in the first period. They gave up 2 quick ones, and that was the final score. So they've been playing great hockey, and that was big for the Knights because now they're going to win the division. But 2-1 Seattle. So I'm coming back, and thanks. Remember, Jonathan Davis has been tracking this. So now Seattle, after the win, they go to Utah. Utah plays Seattle. Seattle this year on a back-to-back. 0-11. 2 or fewer goals in 10 of the 11. The opponent has covered the puck line in 10 of them. Come on. I'll go $1.50 in regulation. You can play it how you want. Take the plus money on the puck line. It's the $2.30, I think, regular money line. But Utah in regulation, and we already gave this out the last time they had a back-to-back and they got blasted. I think it was in Minnesota. 4-0, 5-0. 0-11 on back-to-backs. 2 or fewer goals in 10 of them. Opponents covered the puck line in 10 of them. And pending as well, the big one tonight, Orlando, money line against Atlanta. Aaron Renning is on the over.
All right. One play tonight. It's in Major League Baseball. Padres A's over 8 runs. It's that simple. Every game so far in Sacramento has gone over.
Yep.
This is 8. You can still bet it. This touched 8.5 at several spots, came back to 8, and now it looks like money might be taking it back to 8.5. But as long as this, I know Cease is going tonight. Springs was good in his first start against the Mariners, came back to earth the second start. Anything at 8 or below, I think, with the A's playing at home, I'm going to bet it until it loses like twice in a row. So that's my bet tonight.
VSiN Summer Specials here. Best deal of the season for just $59. You get VSiN Pro access to everything you do through August 1st. 50% off the regular monthly price. Augusta, the draft, MLB action, NBA, NHL playoffs, the Derby. Where's the time go?
Tell me about it.
Playoffs, the play-in tournament next week. Playoffs in 10 days. Then hockey behind that. Every pick, every host, every guest, every pick for the Masters, the betting splits, DraftKings and Circa, NBA Prop Analyzer, 24/7 video access, Kentucky Derby betting guide, every sport, every edge, one price, full access now through August 1st, just $59, vsin.com/subscribe. Will you give a round of applause to Goodell? Apparently, the reason the Detroit Lions were so adamant about this stop with the home teams win their division get a automatic home, team that win their division get automatic home game, let's seed based on record. Goodell is big on this and wants to push it through, and apparently was livid the last time it wasn't voted upon and pushed through.
Right.
Goodell thinks it's got to be this way and
he's
blames
right.
the owners. He is right. You should seed based on record.
So evidently a team needed to push for this for them to maybe
That's how I read it.
kick it around.
Yeah.
So the Lions were like, sure, we hate the idea. If the commissioner wants us to bring it up, then we will and try to get it passed. It's Paul, how obvious does this have to be? We do not need the current system. The NBA did this years ago when they realized, wait a second here. This team won their division and they have 45 wins and 3 other teams in another division have 55 plus wins or whatever that scenario was, and they have to get the 2 seed by default? How dumb. Don't have to do that whatsoever.
Technically, the Lions proposed the change, but it's Goodell who wants it. Big time. Get it done. He also thinks it makes late season games more compelling.
Let me give you this. Gary Parrish tweeted out moments ago, preseason top 25 for college basketball at this point, knowing what we know about the rosters.
All right. Duke won?
Houston.
Where's Duke?
And I'll correlate it with DraftKings odds.
All right.
Houston number 1, 12-1. Duke number 2, 10-1. What if Flagg comes back?
Oh, come on.
Even money to win it next year?
Flagg comes back.
Purdue is number 3 in his rankings. They are 17-1. I'll ask you a question about another team here who follows Purdue in his top 10. It's Alabama, He has them number 4 overall, and they are 25-1 currently at DraftKings. Do you have any interest in Purdue or Alabama to win the title?
Alabama, yes.
Because of his style? I was going to say, if they could get it done this year, I really have to question if Bama's going to...
Well, God, I mean, they ran into a buzzsaw. Duke was so damn good. I mean, and also the timing sucked because you just played the game of your life prior to that against BYU. They went to the Final Four last year. They got a shot, yeah.
Purdue's going to be loaded next year.
Mm-hmm.
On paper, they are going to be sensational. UConn's number 5. They are 14-1. Another team. A couple of good portals already. Transfers, and he has a stellar recruiting class. UCLA is number 6.
Really?
Well, they got Dent from New Mexico.
Oh, that's right. He transferred in.
40-1. Iowa State, he has number 7. Trying to find a number here on them. I don't see it as of right now. Arizona, number 8. They're 30-1. Florida's number 9. They're 25-1, and St. John's 10-1. I currently don't see them at DraftKings, but I know that when they first opened them up, they were like 25-1. So you'd have interest in Bama?
Sure.
I think if...
Mitch, they went to the Final Four
2 years ago?
Yeah, last year.
They're losing a lot of guys.
Well, he's a hell of a coach, though.
I think if November rolls around and UConn's 14-1, I might have to put them in pocket. Just the guy's insufferable, but he's an amazing college basketball coach.
Uh-huh.
And with that much talent coming back, okay, 14-1 is... Duke was 12-1 before the season started, and they turned into, even money after they beat Alabama. Didn't win, but I had people with me last night say, and people who I respect in this racket, they thought they were going to beat Houston. They were the entire game until they faded, and they just said, I'm convinced that Duke was going to beat Florida, and it probably wasn't going to be pretty.
Yeah.
I can't really disagree.
Lost their minds.
Yeah.
And one basket over 10 minutes.
We'll never know. I don't think Florida last night beats Duke. And I don't even know if they cover the game. That's the thing.
It was the opposite. It was not the last 2 years. It was the UConn Invitational. They won and covered every game.
Yeah.
This, even though they're the champs, this was it was tough.
I don't think I said
they
this.
had no business beating Texas Tech. My God, in the second round, I thought they were done.
For sure.
And then, and certainly the Auburn game, which is not that big of a deal because it was still halftime. But there were some close calls in there, and then you're down 12 in the second half.
I don't even think I remember to point this out yesterday. Duke should have covered against Houston.
Yeah.
And I thought for sure as that game was winding down, they are going to cover this game. Again, I have no reason to believe they're not. They're in great position here. And they lost it outright.
They lost the game.
Which is just...
10 things went wrong.
I like one of your first observations yesterday to begin the show. They're never going to forget about that loss.
Going to follow him around and haunt him. I don't care who you are. I don't care if Flagg is a star in the NBA. He's going to be asked about it. And people go, hey, what happened? What did he come on? And especially if there's a title drought as well. Nick saying that Monday, it's not like he's the only person that's thought about that or asked about it too, which I'm surprised that you thought the Malone and the stuff in Denver today was shocking. I'd fall over if Flagg comes back. I mean, at 22 years old, he would sign a $230 million contract. That's one of them. That's the second contract.
Well, if he's good.
I mean, yeah, right. Okay. So you can't do it. He could break his leg. His stock could drop. Remember Matt Barkley?
Yeah.
Barkley was going to be a top 5 pick.
People have number 1 overall.
Yeah. He goes, no, I want to go back to USC.
That's right.
They stunk. He was terrible. Where'd he go? 6th round or something?
It was late.
5th
for
round?
Sure. Would Flagg going back to Duke compare to the Luka trade?
Oh, God. I would still have the Luka trade ahead of him.
Oh, so would I.
But that's in terms of
I think
John.
I think Flagg going back to Duke would, to your point, I think that would blow away Michael Malone getting fired today.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it's not Luka. Nothing's like Luka getting traded like that. That's the bombshell of all bombshells. But Flagg, can you imagine the reaction if he would decide to go back? I'm telling you, like, if he goes back, what's that number? Are they 2-1 to win it with him?
I don't think that's crazy.
I mean,
how good are the Boozer twins?
That's it. You know what that would be? It would be Tiger Woods. You can put up any number and people will bet it.
Yeah.
And that's what people would do with Duke.
True. Yep. Prime time up next. Humans and Von Tobel. Jeff Davis tomorrow. Masters and hockey. Keep it here. Decent.